What is going on, everybody? Thank you all so much for tuning into this live stream special report of Niko House. And of course, as always, I'm your humble host, Niko House. So, as expected, the articles of impeachment were passed. One being high crimes and misdemeanors. The other one being obstruction of justice. Neither of them being legitimate. Let's just call it as it is. Surprisingly enough, Tulsi abstained. Voted present and then voted present again. She's the only candidate that I know, unless there's been an update, that actually voted present for both the articles rather than voting for both of these articles. See a super chat right quick. J Money, what evidence is the Democrats presented in the House impeachment hearings? They have not presented anything. In fact, they were thoroughly debunked by themselves. And we'll get into that in a second. Now, the impeachment, we kind of, everybody's accepted it. It was going to go through. The important part, however, is what happens next. And I know a lot of people are focused on the results. And see, here's my thing. We shouldn't be, this is my motto, and anybody who's been following this channel knows this. What's my motto? As progressives, as populists, as outsiders, as independents, we don't measure our victories by the metrics of the establishment. Now, what does that mean? The results of the impeachment don't mean shit. The official results of the impeachment don't mean shit. What means something is the process of the prosecutorial side of this impeachment. In other words, when it goes to the Senate. What happens when it goes to the Senate? Well, it looks a lot different. In the Senate, it's a legal process. Therefore, the Chief Supreme Court Justice of the United States of America will actually be presiding. The Senate acts as the jury, and there are two sides that argue against each other in a trial type of setting. Now, in this trial setting, you get to subpoena witnesses. This is not like the impeachment where, I can show up, I don't have to show up. It's not like that. The only one who technically does not have to show up is the president. Neither Bill Clinton nor Nixon actually showed up to their impeachment hearings, believe it or not. But everybody else does have to show up. You do have to show up. So if you live in the U.S. and you're called to the stand, I don't know, somebody like Joe Biden, somebody like Hunter Biden, I don't know, for example. People like that. Maybe even potentially a Hillary Clinton. Shit goes south real quick, if you catch my drift. Okay? They have to speak. They have to show up. They have to give testimony. There will be evidence presented on both sides. And if I know Trump, and I think I know him a little bit, Trump is potentially the pettiest president we have had in the history of the United States. In other words, they just gave Trump a 2-month long, that's roughly what I estimate it'll take. They gave him a 2-month long campaign rally. That's what just happened. He will be grandstanding. He will be snitching. He will straw man where he can straw man. He will gaslight. And to be honest, in defending himself, actually defending himself, he will likely be correct. But that's not the important part, because he's not just going to defend himself. He's going to take every single person that he can down with him. He's been baiting them, and they've been taking the bait. Now, this is going to have some pretty serious implications on the primary, because as I just said, it's highly likely that Joe Biden and Hunter Biden are both going to have to participate as witnesses. It's likely that the Republicans will subpoena both of them. If that does happen, not only is Joe Biden taking off the campaign trail, but he is going to be forced to speak at length about something that happened years ago. This is going to be hilarious. This man can't even remember what he did 2 days ago. As if he already isn't bad enough at public speaking, right? It's going to be hilarious. So what happens then? Because they're expecting this to take place in January. That's the worst possible time if you're Joe Biden. You want to get this done yesterday if you're Joe Biden. If you're the establishment, you want to get this done yesterday. And here's why. I just did a brief video about this. There is no other viable establishment option left in this Democratic primary, ladies and gentlemen. Have y'all realized this? Like, low key, this impeachment is stupid, but as a observer and as an analyst, it looks like it might be a blessing in disguise. Because here's why. Hey, everybody, how's Kamala Harris doing? You know, the one in 2017 who met with Hillary Clinton's donors in the Hamptons? How's that going for her? Oh, that's right. She's not in the race anymore, is she? What about Beto O'Rourke? How's his hand waving going? I heard that he got a job down the street as an air balloon guy who waves their hands everywhere. I heard he got a job down the street. He's doing really well at that. And he's retired from politics. How's that going, though? Oh, that's right. He's not in the race anymore. Huh. Interesting. Hey, you know Elizabeth Warren? Remember she had that really huge rise for like 2 months? Where's she at now again? Out of curiosity. I don't know. Where's she at? Oh, that's right. She's back down where she belongs, around 10%, 11%. Pete Buttigieg, man, he had a strong 2 weeks. He was at 3%, he was about 3-4% for his whole. No, it was at 8%. He was like 7 or 8% for his whole campaign. Then he shot up to like 15%, and then the entire media world, weirdly enough, both the independent and the mainstream media world, eviscerated him. In a matter of a week, his campaign was destroyed. The last person left is Joe Biden. And now, what their intention was to muddy the waters by having Trump participate in an impeachment through his entire election. But instead, they're going to set up Joe Biden to kill his campaign. And what they intended to be the death of Donald Trump's campaign. You couldn't write this shit. And after that, the only viable candidates left are Tulsi Gabbard, Bernie Sanders, and Andrew Yang. Even if they cheat, the best possible outcome is Bernie Sanders winning. Do you understand that? If they cheat, the best outcome for them is Bernie Sanders winning. If they don't cheat, and the race becomes a 3-way horse race between Yang, Bernie, and Tulsi, it actually becomes unpredictable, and that's even more terrifying for them. Because then they begin to talk, collude, strategize. Hey, what are we going to do at the convention? Hey, what are we going to do about our cabinets? You know, should we begin to start consolidating votes? Who should we be? You know, who's the best person to beat Trump? And it will be a friendly discussion amongst colleagues to figure out who's the best person to go forward and win this election and beat Donald Trump. But there's the other side of that coin, that maybe they do find a way to cheat and help Joe Biden win. Maybe. I actually don't believe that's going to happen. But if it does, then you have the other problem. The problem where you have to deal with the reality that history has already shown us, that presidents who get impeached and are not prosecuted, or not removed, I should say, they become wildly popular. And this is going to be the first time in history that a president survives prosecution and then runs for re-election in the middle of a quote unquote booming economy. I know it's not really booming for the average person, but the stock markets say otherwise and the GDP says otherwise, and that's what people use. Okay? So you think that Joe Biden, the what, 3-time? Is it 3-time loser he is now? 3-time loser! All of a sudden, Joe Biden has officially became viable to be the president. All of a sudden. He's all of a sudden the winner. He's literally the worst version of Joe Biden that we have seen in Joe Biden. But now, he's the winner. He's a winner now, guys. Yeah. He didn't really have a chance to win, in my opinion, before the impeachment. But it's almost like they're trying to kill Joe Biden's chances of winning. Because that's what's going to happen. Because you're hurting him while simultaneously making Trump way more popular. And what's going to happen is that you're not necessarily going to see Democrats come out and vote for him, but it's going to expose the vein of bipartisan politics. People are going to be tired again. They're going to be exhausted. But you know who ain't going to be exhausted? Those Trump supporters. Them Trump supporters going to be up on November the 7th or November the 8th, whatever they decide to do the election on. And they're going to be waiting in line like this. Hey, what about that impeachment testimony, y'all? Yeah, man. Look, we told them, didn't we? MAGA. Mm-hmm. Don't tell them. Shh. We're a Democrat hat. Let's convince them that they think. Let's make them think they're going to win, and then flip the script on them. Let's see if we can get more people to cry this time than last election. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Them Trump supporters gonna come out there just smiling and happy and energized because guess what they gonna keep on? They gonna say we just keep winning. You just can't beat us because that's what they see in Trump. They see Trump as them. Whether it's good or bad is a whole different thing, but they're going to be excited. And if it isn't Bernie, if it isn't Tulsi, if it isn't Yang, anyone else gets destroyed by Trump. Because this game is just simply exposing why so many people sat out in 2016. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and hit that notification bell if you like that segment of Mi Casa Su Casa. Of course, if YouTube is giving you trouble, as it always does, you can download the Rockfin app and follow us there. Also, if you want to continue to help our show grow, you can help us reach our goal of 500 patrons on Patreon and donate as little as $1. Really, anything helps. Other than that, always remember, people, more than anything else, find your balance. Peace.